I know when I am learning, and I love to learn, that I like to be able to just sort of sit and look and focus on what I am reading and what I am seeing so that I can really take it all in. That's how I learn. Not my daughter. She moves, she wiggles, she cannot sit still. She's hanging upside down. She's over there, she's over. This is her style of learning, and it is so different to mine. But it's also exciting to see how much she really takes in when she has that freedom to really learn as she learns best. And so I want to look over the next 3 videos on how we can be supporting, again, in our learning styles, but specifically looking at homeschooling. And so today I want to present 5 tips on how we can be homeschooling our kinesthetic learners. Hi, and welcome to Learning Life, and thank you for joining me today as we take another little foray into one of my favorite sort of subjects when it comes to education and learning, and that is the learning styles. Look, I know that there are people that say, no, there's no such thing, but honestly, in all the years that I've been working with children, I pretty much say that there are the different learning styles, and I see it blatantly obvious, just even in my own household, as we cover the 3 main ones of visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. And it's exciting. Like, it really is exciting. I mean, I love to learn by seeing, like my husband, like by hearing, like one of my daughters by doing, and it's all great. I mean, yes, I will read, or maybe, you want to read, or you maybe want to watch videos like these ones where you can learn. And thank you so much for watching and for liking and subscribing and sending me your comments. Thank you. It really means a lot to me. So do you have a kinesthetic learner? Sometimes it's like, oh my goodness, can't you sit still? Like even watching television, she cannot sit still. But you know what? It's okay. She is wired to be moving this way. And that really is the best way to describe what a kinesthetic learner is. The whole body experience. The body needs to be involved. It needs to be seeing and hearing, and especially in doing, which is why we sometimes call it that hands-on learner. Now, I do have other videos on the learning style, so you can check out the one on what is a kinesthetic learner, and then the other one on tools and resources for them. Well, today I want to specifically look at homeschooling a kinesthetic learner. It was always my heart and my dream to be homeschooling my girls. But in watching Kira, as she was sort of growing and realizing as she was learning how she was very much a kinesthetic learner, it really sort of helped to seal the deal that I wanted her to be at home with me, where I could give her the freedom to truly learn how it is that she learns best. Because to be honest, I think if I had her in a classroom, I'd be getting phone calls of, she's not sitting still. She just wants to wander around the classroom. She's forever touching, moving, feeling, seeing, doing. I'm like, yes, welcome to my life. Because that's what it's like at home. I love it. We're reading a story, but then all of a sudden she's Irish dancing, or she's doing ballet poses, or she's walking, or she's tapping, or she's jumping. She's hanging upside down, or we just never know. But if you stop and ask her, she's taken it all in. But when you sort of try to get her to just sit still and do it, it's like she shuts off. And so why? Why would I want to? And maybe as a homeschooling parent, you're like, yeah, exactly. I understand. Or maybe you're going, hey, excuse me, I have a kinesthetic learner and I'm not really sure what to do. Maybe it's driving you a little bit crazy, because if it's not your learning style, it can be a little awkward. Being like, what do I do? Because I know this, and so I want to teach this way. But what if we had the freedom to let them have the freedom to learn in the way that they want to learn? This is such a great partnership. This is such a great way to be learning at home. So today, let's look at these 5 tips. Allow them to move. Do not confine to a desk. Please do not. Give them that freedom. Though for Kira, she takes that freedom a little bit too far, and apparently that also means no clothes. She loves to homeschool that way. But, we can have exercise balls to sit on, or a mini tramp that we can jump on while we're learning, even just walking around, not being at a desk. This is good. But if you are at a desk or you're seated and you're learning, you can have quiet toys. These are things like Lego or even threading buttons or just something they could be doing finger knitting so that there is some part of their body involved while the lesson is going on. Maybe they're listening and seeing, but they're actually actively involved in doing something with these quiet toys. That's a very good thing. And don't forget, wiggling, it's totally okay and normal for our kinesthetic learners. Keep verbal lessons or instructions short. This is actually a good thing for them. Just keep those lessons short. If it's a longer lesson, break it down into smaller chunks. Okay, if it's more of a writing thing, you could act as a scribe, but you want it to be shorter just to give those moments where the body can be involved before they may be shut off. And this is actually a good thing really for many children to be able to break things down into smaller chunks so that they are shorter. You can use music for mnemonics and memorizing facts. You can use dance for that too. There are so many great ways that you can do it in these little short chunks, which is really helpful for our kinesthetic learners to be learning. Use all 5 senses. They want to be seeing, hearing, doing, smelling, tasting. That is Kira. As I said, everything's like a whole body experience. I mean, the number of times I have to tell her, why did you lick that? She just wants to know what it tastes like. Whew, I think she knows how to taste anything in this world. But, it's constantly being there and doing, having craft projects, experiments in science, manipulatives in math, using cooking a lot more, anything that really involves a mix of the senses. And here is another thing. Don't forget to let them chew gum if needs be. Look, I'm not a big gum fan and we're not part of that. My girls have actually, don't think ever had gum, but I do know that it works. This chewing that they're actually tasting while their mouth is moving. And in fact, some studies have shown even for older children that different flavored gums for different subjects helps later on when it comes to recall, triggering back. So if it's peppermint for math or, this, it's really quite fascinating to look at just how much we're all interconnected that way. Get outside. Get outside. Get outside the house. Make the most of field trips, nature walks, museums, just being in your backyard or on your front porch if you don't have a backyard or a balcony, whatever it is, just being outside so that you can feel that breeze, so you can feel the sunlight, so you can feel the grass, just different things. Physically moving around. Make the most of your backyard, your local park, whatever it is, but having that opportunity to be outside and outside the house is also a really good thing. Allow breaks. This ties in with the second one about keeping lessons short, but breaks are very good, actually for all children. It's always good to have these short breaks. I'm not talking long breaks. We're not saying, do a 20-minute lesson and a 30-minute break, but just these quick breaks to allow that stretch, that movement, that, I finished with that, moving on to something else is really important for these learners. It's that shift. Oh, I'm learning something new now. Oh, how do I want to be doing that? Do I want to be sitting over here? Do I want to be sitting over there? Those breaks allow for that additional movement or for something else that they need to be doing to be learning in the best way that they can. And so those are our 5 main tips, but here are a few other little ideas. Allow doodling. Just let them draw while they're listening. Allow for maybe discussion rather than longer writing tasks. Use things like chalk or magnetic letters or things that feel different in their hand. Write with the chalk outside, on the driveway. Those magnetic letters, they're having to move around. You use balls for throwing, especially skip counting. I love that. You've got the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 5, 10, 15, 20, which is then great for teaching the times tables and all of that. And you're actually physically moving, catching, doing hand-eye coordination. I love that you can take your chalk and put your sight words or whatever it is you're doing out on the ground and your body can move from one place to another. Play games with flashcards, if you're learning something. Memory match is great for that because why? There's a physical component that we're flipping and we're moving. Got the idea? allowing that freedom for movement for our kinesthetic learners, allowing that freedom for using our whole body and all of our senses while learning is really key. And it makes for a happier student, which I think makes for a happier household. To watch our children thriving in how they learn, to me, it's right up there with hearing, I love you. I'm like, oh, look at how you're learning. Look at what you're doing. There's this, to me, there's a real sense of like pride and like, look at what you can do. And look, and this is not me like just patting myself on my back like, hey, look at me, I'm so excellent. No, this is me giving my child a gift on how she can learn best. Here, you have that freedom. Take it. That's how you want to learn. I want you to learn that way. And that to me is the important thing. And when we are homeschooling and within their learning styles, it's freeing for me, it's freeing for them, and it makes for a beautiful educational experience. Well, thank you so much for watching today. Stay tuned. Next week, we are going to look at homeschooling our visual learner, and then the following one, our auditory learner. This stuff fascinates me, and I look forward to bringing you tips for those other learning styles. Thank you so much for watching today. Oh, here's another fun tool that you can use with your kinesthetic learners. At my website, LearningThis.Life, you can check out pocket packs. These are fun thematic units of work that cover across all like the different subjects, but are fantastic for our kids who are kinesthetic learners because there's activities to do and experiments and all of these different fun things, as well as books to read and websites to visit and videos to watch. I've had so much fun writing these, thinking about like our children and how they learn and how we can incorporate all of that. So check that out, pocket packs on my website, LearningThis.Life. And while you're there, you could check out Being a Champion, which is a great way of bringing more of these videos to you. You can become a champion through patreon.com or once again, my website, LearningThis.Life.